Have you ever wondered why, no matter how many affirmations you say, no matter how many vision boards you create, or how much spiritual work you do, your life seems to stay exactly the same? You feel like you're doing everything right, yet the results you long for keep slipping through your fingers. It's frustrating. It can feel like a cruel joke played by the universe, or worse, a reflection of your own inadequacy. But what if I told you that the reason nothing seems to change isn't because you're failing, isn't because you lack discipline or belief, and certainly isn't because you're not spiritual enough? What if the reason is far more subtle, and far more compassionate, than anything you've been told? The truth is, change isn't about trying harder. It's not about pushing, forcing, or controlling. Deep down, the universe is ready to give you more, to open doors you didn't even know existed. The problem isn't outside of you. The problem has always been within. The part of you that doesn't yet feel safe enough to let go, to receive, to step fully into the new reality you desire. You see, your nervous system, the silent, intelligent part of your body that decides what is safe and what is dangerous, has been protecting you all your life. It's been keeping you alive, yes, but also keeping you small, predictable, and comfortable even when comfort feels like stagnation. When we think about manifestation, we often focus on the mind. Visualize more clearly, believe more deeply, align with higher vibration. But the mind alone is not enough. The mind can imagine, it can plan, it can believe, but the body, the nervous system, is what truly decides whether change is possible. Until the body feels safe, until your nervous system receives the subtle message that it is okay to release the old patterns, the new reality cannot settle in. This is why you might feel a constant resistance even when your intentions are pure and your energy feels high. It's not that you're doing it wrong, it's that your body hasn't yet given its permission. Think of it this way. Imagine trying to plant a seed in frozen ground. You can water it, talk to it, visualize it growing, but until the soil warms, the seed will not sprout. The same is true for you. Your old patterns, your old fears, your old self, all of these act like frozen ground. And until the inner soil is softened by safety, trust, and permission, any attempt at growth will feel forced and painful. It may even feel like failure when in reality it's simply timing, the timing of your system saying, not yet. Not until I can trust that this change won't hurt me. And here's the beautiful part. Feeling safe enough to change is not about controlling the outer world. It's not about waiting for perfect conditions, perfect relationships, perfect timing. Safety is cultivated inside. It's a deep, embodied knowing that whatever unfolds, you will survive it, you will flow with it, and you will still remain whole. It's the quiet reassurance that you are allowed to let go of who you used to be without fear. And when this internal safety begins to grow, when the nervous system begins to trust, that is when transformation happens effortlessly, gracefully, and permanently. So if you've been trying, pushing, striving, and wondering why nothing seems to move, this is not your failure. You are not broken and you are not behind. You are simply in the process of preparing your inner world for the change your mind has been craving. This preparation, though subtle and invisible at first, is the most critical step in manifestation and reality shifting. It is the bridge between the life you have and the life you want, the key that opens the door you've been knocking on for years. In the next sections, we will explore exactly why your nervous system resists change, how the illusion of trying harder keeps you stuck, and most importantly, how to cultivate a sense of inner safety so profound that reality itself cannot help but shift around you. For now, simply allow yourself to breathe, to notice your body, and to acknowledge a profound truth. Before anything in your outer world can change, your inner world must first feel safe enough to allow it. Most of us believe that if we just think better, or focus harder, change will come. But the deeper truth is that your mind is only one player in a much larger, more intelligent system, your nervous system. This system has been quietly guiding your every thought, emotion, and action since the moment you were born, and it operates on one fundamental principle: survival. Its main job is not to make you happy, abundant, or enlightened. Its job is to keep you safe, alive, and comfortable, even if that comfort feels limiting or unfulfilling. Think about it. Every fear you've ever had, every hesitation, every moment of doubt, it's all the nervous system trying to protect you. It doesn't know whether a new opportunity is good or bad. All it knows is that change equals uncertainty and uncertainty equals risk. That's why when you try to leap into a new version of yourself, your system may respond with subtle resistance, procrastination, self-sabotage, doubt, or even physical tension. You might feel anxious, scattered, or stuck, and it can feel as though the universe itself is conspiring against you. In reality, the resistance is your body whispering, "Not yet. I need more safety before I can let go of what I know." To understand this, imagine your nervous system as a gatekeeper. On one side is your familiar reality, the life you've known, your habits, your old identity. On the other side is the life you desire, the one filled with abundance, alignment, and new possibilities. The gatekeeper doesn't automatically open just because your mind says it's time. It evaluates risk, scans for danger, and tests whether you are truly ready to step through without harm. Until it receives reassurance, it will hold the gate firmly closed, and no amount of positive thinking will force it open. This is where the contrast becomes clear. The old self clings to safety and familiarity, while the new self is calling, longing to emerge. And the tension between the two is what creates the feeling of being stuck. You want change, your mind is capable of imagining it, but your body is not yet willing to release the old patterns that feel secure. That's why people can meditate daily, repeat affirmations, read self-development books, and still find their reality unchanged. Their nervous system is still protecting them from a world it doesn't yet trust. It's also important to note that safety here doesn't only mean physical safety. In fact, the nervous system is often more concerned with emotional safety than anything else. Will stepping into your new reality risk rejection, failure, or judgment? Will it require letting go of relationships, identities, or routines that have defined you for years? Even if the change is profoundly positive, your system doesn't differentiate between positive and negative risk. It only senses uncertainty. And until it perceives that the risk is safe, it will resist, even subconsciously. This resistance can show up in many forms: procrastination that feels irrational, fear that seems out of proportion, or self-sabotage in the very areas you long to grow. You might even notice that when a real opportunity appears, something inside holds you back, like an invisible force saying, "Wait, not yet." This is the gatekeeper in action. And understanding this mechanism is liberating because it removes the self-blame. You are not lazy, weak, or spiritually inadequate. You are simply waiting for your nervous system to catch up. The good news is that the nervous system is not rigid. It can learn, it can adapt, and it can expand. But it requires a different kind of work than the mind demands. It requires trust, patience, and presence. It requires that you feel safe in your own body and emotions before you can allow the external world to align with your desires. This is why some of the most profound transformations happen not through effort, but through surrender, through giving your body permission to relax, to release, and to welcome new possibilities. To illustrate this, consider a child learning to walk. The child's mind may want to run, to explore, to reach the new environment immediately. But the body resists because it does not yet trust that it can maintain balance, that it won't fall, that it won't get hurt. The child practices, feels the security of the floor beneath them, gains confidence, and only then takes that first step with trust. Change for adults works in exactly the same way, though the lessons are less obvious. Until the body feels the safety, the step into a new reality cannot happen. Another layer to understand is how subconscious patterns from the past feed this resistance. Every fear, every trauma, every moment of insecurity, and every lesson learned shapes how your nervous system perceives risk. Even if you intellectually know that the new opportunity is safe, the body carries memory. It carries the lessons of childhood, of heartbreak, of disappointment. These memories are not your enemy, they are the protective system trying to keep you alive, but they can block your conscious efforts if unrecognized. This is why so many spiritual seekers feel frustrated. They practice, they visualize, they meditate, but without addressing the core issue of safety, change feels incomplete. You cannot skip over the body's wisdom and expect sustainable transformation. Trying to do so often results in fake progress, bursts of motivation that fade quickly, repeated cycles of hope and disappointment, or feelings of being blocked in your spiritual or personal growth. The missing piece, almost always, is cultivating internal safety. Understanding this mechanism also shifts how you approach manifestation and reality shifting. You start to see that the process is not about forcing outcomes, but about creating alignment between mind, body, and emotion. You begin to notice where your body feels tense or unsafe, and you learn to honor those signals rather than ignore them. You begin to replace force with permission, struggle with ease, and resistance with trust. And as your nervous system learns that it is safe to expand, to receive, and to embody the new self, reality begins to shift naturally around you. In essence, the hidden mechanism behind why nothing changes is simple yet profound. Your body will not release the old until it feels safe to embrace the new. Change is not an intellectual exercise, it is a dance between safety and growth, survival and expansion. Once you understand this, every challenge, every block, every moment of hesitation transforms from a source of frustration into a signpost. It is the universe's way of guiding you to prepare your inner world for the life you truly desire. And this understanding is empowering because it reminds you that the power to change has always been within you. It has never been outside in circumstances, timing, or other people. The key has always been to cultivate safety. Safety in your body, safety in your mind, and safety in your heart. Once you achieve this, the gates of manifestation open effortlessly, and the world responds in kind. Most of us have been taught that change requires effort, that if we just try harder, push more, and discipline ourselves relentlessly, transformation will come. We repeat affirmations with intensity, visualize vividly, and immerse ourselves in every self-development technique available. Yet somehow, despite all this effort, the results are fleeting or non-existent. There's a reason for this, and it is subtler than we think. Trying harder can actually reinforce the very resistance we are trying to overcome. When we push ourselves too forcefully, when we chase change with determination but without alignment, we inadvertently signal to our nervous system that this new life is risky, unpredictable, and dangerous. You see, effort and struggle are often interpreted by the body as a warning sign. The subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between positive effort and panic-driven effort. Both register as stress. And stress triggers the survival mechanism: tightening, holding back, protecting. The harder we push, the more the nervous system tightens its grip, and the less real transformation can occur. Contrast this with the natural unfolding of change that happens when the body feels safe. When there is no fear of loss, judgment, or failure, change flows with ease. It becomes an organic expansion rather than a forced leap. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how a truly joyful moment, a time when you feel completely aligned with yourself, can shift your mood, your energy, even your reality almost instantly? That is the body responding to safety, to trust, to alignment. In these moments, the mind doesn't need to control the outcome. It simply allows what is already possible to emerge. The trap of effort also shows up in the spiritual world in subtle ways. We often hear messages about raising our vibration, becoming more positive, or staying in a high-frequency state. While well-intentioned, these messages can unintentionally create pressure to perform spiritually. We may try to suppress fear, doubt, or sadness in order to stay aligned, and in doing so, we push against our natural human experience. The irony is that this pushing signals the nervous system that we are not safe, reinforcing the blocks we wish to release. Self-sabotage often emerges in these moments, and it can feel confusing or discouraging. You might have a vision board that seems to mock you, or a new habit that you cannot sustain despite repeated attempts. Or perhaps you experience bursts of motivation followed by sudden exhaustion, doubt, or distraction. These are not signs of failure. They are evidence that your body is protecting you from moving too fast before it feels safe. Each act of self-sabotage is actually an invitation to pause, notice, and cultivate internal safety rather than to push harder. To illustrate this further, consider a river. When water flows freely, it navigates obstacles effortlessly, carving its path over time. But when we try to force the water with our hands, blocking and redirecting it, the water resists, splashes back, and may even stagnate. The flow of manifestation is similar. True alignment cannot be forced. It requires allowing the current of your being, the deep wisdom of your nervous system, to guide the direction, not the frantic control of the mind. Another way to understand this is through the lens of identity. Every effort we make to force change is often rooted in the old self attempting to control the new self. The old self is familiar. It understands the rules, the limitations, the predictable patterns. The new self is unknown. It is potential, expansion, and possibility. When the old self tries to impose discipline, effort, or control over the new self, resistance naturally arises. The body senses a conflict, a mismatch, and it instinctively resists until alignment between the old and new self is achieved. This is why some of the most profound transformations happen not through force, but through ease. People often describe sudden awakenings, effortless manifestations, or moments where everything seems to fall into place. These moments are not random. They are the natural result of the nervous system finally feeling safe enough to relax, release, and allow the new reality to take root. The change that occurs in these moments is sustainable precisely because it is welcomed by the body, not imposed upon it. We can also see this principle at work in relationships, career shifts, and personal growth. Trying to force someone to love us, trying to force a job opportunity, trying to force our spiritual state. These attempts often fail because they rely solely on effort and external control. When we shift our approach to one of presence, trust, and alignment, suddenly opportunities appear naturally, doors open, and synchronicities unfold. The nervous system no longer perceives threat. It perceives safety, and change becomes inevitable. An essential step in this process is learning to distinguish between effort that aligns and effort that resists. Aligned effort is gentle, deliberate, and flowing. It respects the natural pace of your body and your emotions. It is action taken from trust rather than fear. Misaligned effort, on the other hand, is frantic, desperate, or punitive. It is action taken from pressure, judgment, or anxiety. One creates expansion, the other creates tension. Understanding this distinction transforms the way we approach every aspect of life, from manifestation to personal transformation. This does not mean inaction. It does not mean giving up on your desires or abandoning growth. It means shifting your approach. It means replacing struggle with surrender, force with permission, and control with trust. It means cultivating an inner environment so safe and supportive that your body naturally steps into the new reality, and your mind follows. This is the invisible work that underlies all lasting change. In essence, the illusion of trying harder is one of the most common barriers to manifestation and reality shifting. Effort alone is insufficient. Alignment is essential. The body must feel safe before it can release resistance. The mind must release control before the heart can expand. And the spirit must feel supported before transformation can unfold. Once these conditions are met, the universe does not resist. It flows in harmony with your readiness. So, if you have been pushing, forcing, or trying to control your growth, take a moment to pause. Notice the tension in your body, the frustration in your mind, the fear in your heart. Recognize that these are signals, not failures. They are invitations to step back, to cultivate inner safety, and to allow the change you desire to emerge naturally. The moment you shift from effort to alignment, from struggle to trust, the resistance begins to dissolve. And that is when real, lasting transformation begins, effortless, graceful, and deeply satisfying. Now that we understand why the nervous system resists change and why effort alone can backfire, the question becomes, how do we cultivate a state where change can actually occur? How do we create the inner safety that allows manifestation and transformation to flow naturally? The answer lies in learning to feel safe, emotionally, mentally, and physically, within yourself. This is the foundation for any lasting shift in reality. Creating inner safety begins with awareness. Begin to notice the moments when your body feels tense, when your mind races, when fear or doubt surfaces. These are not obstacles, they are signposts. They are your nervous system communicating that it has not yet received the reassurance it needs to allow change. By noticing without judgment, you are already beginning the process of safety. You are telling your body, I see you, I hear you, I am here with you. This simple act of acknowledgement is profoundly grounding. Next comes compassion. Change can feel threatening because it challenges old patterns and identities. Be gentle with yourself in this process. Recognize that every fear, every hesitation, every resistance has served a purpose. It has protected you, guided you, and kept you intact. By approaching yourself with compassion rather than frustration, you reduce the perception of threat in the body. Compassion softens the nervous system, creating a fertile ground for new possibilities to emerge. Breath is another powerful tool. Conscious breathing signals to the nervous system that it is safe to relax. When you feel tension or resistance, take a few deep, slow breaths. Imagine sending warmth, safety, and permission to every cell in your body. With each exhale, release the old patterns of fear, doubt, or control. With each inhale, invite trust, openness, and expansion. This simple practice communicates directly to your system that it is okay to let go and receive. Another critical component is presence. Often, resistance arises because we are preoccupied with outcomes, with shoulds, or with what might happen. Presence anchors you in the current moment, reducing the sense of risk and uncertainty. Whether through meditation, mindful walking, or simply pausing to notice your surroundings, presence allows your nervous system to observe that it is safe right here, right now. Safety is experienced in the present, not in a future imagined or a past remembered. Visualization and subtle energetic practices can also support safety, but only when approached gently. Instead of forcing vivid images of your future life, imagine them as gentle possibilities, as invitations rather than demands. Allow your body to respond naturally, noticing where it feels ease and where tension arises. Adjust the visualization until it feels like a safe expansion rather than a leap into the unknown. This creates alignment between your desire and your readiness, and it is this alignment that allows manifestation to take root effortlessly. Boundaries play a key role in cultivating safety as well. Often, we feel unsafe because external circumstances or relationships create subtle tension or drain our energy. By setting clear boundaries and honoring your own needs, you reinforce a sense of security within yourself. When your outer environment reflects respect for your inner world, your nervous system relaxes, and change becomes easier to embrace. Consistency and patience are essential. Inner safety is not built overnight, it is nurtured over time. Each moment you respond to yourself with awareness, compassion, breath, presence, and aligned action strengthens the nervous system's trust. Slowly, layer by layer, the body learns that it can expand without danger. It learns that it is supported, that it is resilient, and that stepping into the new self is safe. It is also helpful to reframe resistance as part of the process rather than as a barrier. When fear or doubt arises, view it as the nervous system's way of saying, "I am not yet fully ready, but I am willing to grow." This reframing reduces internal conflict and creates a cooperative rather than combative relationship between your conscious mind and your body. Transformation is never about conquering the self, it is about collaborating with it. Ultimately, the process of creating inner safety is the secret bridge between the life you have and the life you desire. It shifts the focus from forcing outcomes to cultivating readiness, from chasing results to nurturing alignment. When the body feels safe, when the mind feels supported, and when the heart feels secure, change flows naturally. Manifestation is no longer a struggle, it becomes a natural response to your alignment. Remember, inner safety does not require perfection. It does not demand that you eliminate all fear, all doubt, or all uncertainty. It simply asks that you provide a foundation of trust and presence within yourself. Even small steps, a few moments of mindful breathing, gentle self-compassion, a boundary set with courage, send powerful messages to your nervous system. These moments accumulate, creating a field of safety strong enough to support the life you've been longing for. And once this foundation is established, something remarkable happens. You begin to notice shifts in your reality that feel effortless and synchronistic. Opportunities appear naturally. Relationships evolve with ease. Your energy aligns with your desires, and you no longer feel as though you are pushing against resistance. The life you once imagined in fragments begins to take form as a coherent, tangible reality. The key was never external, it was always the inner environment you were cultivating, the safety you were granting yourself. As we reach the culmination of this exploration, it becomes clear that the journey of transformation is not about doing more, pushing harder, or forcing outcomes. True change begins with a simple yet profound principle: safety. Until your body, mind, and heart feel safe enough to release the old patterns, to trust in the unknown, and to embody the new self, no amount of effort will bring lasting results. This is the secret that has been quietly guiding all true manifestations, whether subtle or profound. Recognize that every moment of resistance you have experienced was not a sign of failure, but a signal from your nervous system asking for trust, patience, and care. Your fears, doubts, and hesitations have served a purpose. They have kept you intact, protected, and ready. By honoring them instead of fighting them, you create the conditions for transformation that are sustainable and deeply aligned. The process is not about erasing the old self, but about allowing it to coexist with the new self until your system feels ready to fully integrate expansion. When you cultivate this internal safety, a remarkable shift occurs. Life stops feeling like a battle against circumstances and begins to feel like a dance with possibility. Opportunities that once seemed distant or impossible begin to appear effortlessly. Synchronicities, insights, and guidance flow naturally. The nervous system, now relaxed and trusting, becomes a willing partner in your evolution rather than a silent gatekeeper resisting your desires. Change no longer feels like a struggle. It becomes an organic unfolding, a graceful alignment between who you are and who you are becoming. Remember that this inner safety does not demand perfection. You will have moments of fear, doubt, and hesitation, and that is okay. Even in those moments, you can return to awareness, breath, presence, and self-compassion. Each return strengthens the foundation of trust within your system. Transformation is less about controlling every outcome and more about consistently nurturing the inner environment in which change can naturally occur. This is the hidden art of manifestation and reality shifting, a gentle, patient, and intimate collaboration between your conscious intention and your body's innate wisdom. As you move forward from this understanding, know that you are already prepared for change. The key has always been within you, to create a safe, aligned, and trusting inner world. When the body feels safe, the mind feels supported, and the heart feels secure, reality has no choice but to respond. The life you have envisioned, the shifts you have longed for, are waiting not outside but inside, ready to unfold the moment you allow yourself to feel safe enough to step into the new you.